So these type of things are important. And that's why I told like think out loud. Let the interviewer know what you were thinking.
So when you first time hear about that you have to sit in an interview, what was the strategy or what was your steps you followed?
Okay, actually, the thing didn't begin with the interview. We had some other. There's a misconception. I don't know. At least I was not asked about coding. Like many of I have heard from many like.
So, Kaustav, again, welcome on the Supremum YouTube platform. And this time, the this congratulation is for the second thing. Like you got the internship in your college, and it is a great achievement. Second achievement for you as well. So Kaustav, just for the public, I just want to know something about you. So, how you got the college and how this internship.
I am I was from Kolkata, not from Kolkata, a suburb from Kolkata. I studied in St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. So in my college, we used to study well. We used to study with some discipline. Our syllabus was quite useful for this exam, and like this. And I took mock tests for JAM from Supremum classes. For ISI, there's no such option for mock tests. Like we have the past questions, and we have to use those actually to practice and all these things. So that's it.
Okay. So, what was your experience with the interview with the JP Morgan?
Okay, actually, the thing didn't begin with the interview. We had some other. We had actually one aptitude test, two aptitude tests to be precise, a pair of online interviews, and then a pair of physical interviews. For the whole process, like in the aptitude, all of our friends, like in ISI Delhi, we have two courses like the MStat, the MStat ones, and there's another one MSQE, with quantitative economics, Master of Science in Quantitative Economics. Every one of us from the first year we sat for the aptitude test. It was an online test, MCQ based test. There was two parts for the test. The first part was from a bit from mathematics, a bit from probability statistics, and some coding problems. Everything was of MCQ type. And in the second part of the exam, we had a hardcore coding based exam, and I couldn't even touch this paper. Like I don't know Python well, and I know R programming, but I don't know Python, and that paper was from hardcore Python, like the basics of Python. I couldn't actually touch it much. So after the aptitude, they selected around 17 students from MStat and MSQE, and we had a pair of not everybody had two in online interviews. Like I had two online interviews because I applied for two roles in the process. Like they came to us with two roles. One was MRGR, CIB. I mean, model risk and governance, like those things, and another was a CCB, like that was a consumer and customer banking. So I applied for both the roles. So I had a pair of online interviews. In the online interview, it was mostly an HR kind of interview. Like they were not like one of them was a specialist in statistics, but the other was not. They actually asked me some basics of statistics, like basics of inference, basics of statistical testing, testing of hypothesis, p-value, this kind of things. So like they actually want to see how much clear my concept is. How can I apply those concepts, those tools in real life? And in the other interview, it was a hardcore statistical interview, like a statistics-based interview, rather. He asked me from regression, he asked me from probability, he asked me from random variables, statistical inference, everything. And it was kind of a statistics-based interview, like theoretical statistics-based interview. And another thing, I had a project during my undergrads. That project was in regression, quantile regression. So he asked me about my project, how I did my project, details of my project, like this. And after every interview, every round of interview, they actually asked us if we have any questions or not. And this is my suggestion to all of my friends who are going to sit for internships. Like, please ask them questions. Like, they want to see if you are interested in their role or not, in the work or not. And the role you are applying for, please know something, at least something about the role, because they will ask you how much do you know about what you have to do in that role. They don't expect that you know all the things, but you have to have a basic idea of your work and of how your topic, like how statistics will help in that role, like this. So this went for the online interviews, and after that, the next day, they made a list of around 10 to 15, and they called for a physical interview in our campus. Like, there I had 2 interviews and 1 group discussion phase. The group discussion phase was for the CCB role, consumer and customer banking role, and for the MRGL, like model governance risk analyst role, I had a couple of interviews. So in the group discussion phase, they asked, like, it was an open question. Like, they asked me, there was a team of 2 interviewers. They asked us if we know ChatGPT well, and how is our perception about chat like this. I couldn't perform well in that thing, because I expected that they will ask things from statistics or mathematics, like those, but it wasn't actually from them there. It was kind of a business related discussion, and the MSQ, the economic student, performed very well in the group discussion phase. So in the first round, I got eliminated from that role, and after that, we had the interviews for the MRGR role, the role where I have been hired. So what I have understood from their words, like from what they told me, like they want employees in statistics, employees who have a statistics background. So at first they told me something like who I am. They told me to give me an introduction of me, from where I have done my undergrads, my schoolings, like this. And after that, he went through my CV. Always keep your CV with like 6 to 7 copies of your CV with you, of printed CV with you. And they asked me, again, my project. And then that project is a great advantage to me. Like, in these banking sectors, we need regression to a great extent, and my project was also in quantile regression. So actually, when they asked me about my project, they could easily evaluate my regression skills. Like, when I am giving a brief of my project, they are asking me some questions regarding things related to that, or things close to that, and they can easily evaluate me whether I know regression well or not. And that's a great advantage, because if your project is different from something different from this topic, a theoretical topic rather, then after the discussion with your project, they have to again come back to this regression thing. And these interviewers don't try to take much time with one candidate. Like, so they asked me about my project, then went to the course of regression. From there, he went to the basics of linear algebra, calculus, rather probability to some extent, and it went for about 25 to 30 minutes, and then he asked me like, if I have any question regarding their work, if I have any question to ask him, any type of question. So you have to show interest in those sections. You have to ask questions. You have to show that you have interest in working with. Like, and the second thing is, if you do something wrong, like you are not able to solve any problem, don't think it of your own. Think out loud. Let the interviewer know what you are thinking. He will help you. Actually, in these interviews, the interviewers used to evaluate whether in adverse situation one can solve a problem or not. Like, if you forget anything theoretical, or any formula or any theory, if you know the basics of that, if you can by anyhow give him a framework of how you can solve a problem, that is good for them. They want those things, like how will you deal with a problem in adverse situation. So the first interview went for around 25 minutes, and after that I asked them some questions. It was like a 35-minute session. Then we had our lunch time. After lunch, I was called for a second round of interview, and in that interview was a bit more mathematical. I was asked some mathematical topics like convexity of function, derivatives, things like the integral, and apart from that, there's a thing in our that we do in undergrad. Some colleges they teach us in undergrads, like non-parametric statistics, then principal component analysis, like things like this. Both the interviews were quite based on statistical topics, like statistical topics, mathematical topics, hardcore statistical topics, like this. And after that, they went to some extent to descriptive statistics, like skewness, kurtosis, and like they want to see how clear is your concept about these topics, like how much do you know about skewness, like how much do you understand? How do you see skewness from a layman's perspective? Like this, things like this. And then I was asked some basics of probability, random variables, some applications of random variables, things like this. And again, they asked me if I have some question regarding the role, regarding that's it. And after these two interviews, I was called by the HR, and that was not kind of an interview. She asked me some basic things like about my family, my hometown, and how if I have any problem staying in Mumbai or not, things like this. And that ended it. That's it. So my suggestion is know your subject well, know statistics well. There's a misconception. I don't know. At least I was not asked about coding, like many of I have heard from many, like in these internship programs, they want to see how skilled I am in coding. I wasn't asked a single question about coding, not a single question. They in fact didn't say anything about coding in all of these four interviews. So I don't know about other ones, but I was not asked anything about coding.
Have you written this coding skill in your
Yeah.
resume? In your CV, have you written that you have some coding skill or not?
Yeah, in my CV, I had written like I know R and some bit of Python. A bit of Python. I don't know actually Python.
They totally moved according to your CV. I think there you have
Yeah,
written that.
yeah. But I have written I know R. I know R, and I know a lot of R. I know a lot of packages in R. But they didn't ask me anything about R. They asked was from statistics and mathematics. Everything from statistics and
Okay.
yeah,
So,
CV. You have to know your CV well. They will ask from the CV. And another thing, there's no need of pretending that you know something. If you don't know something, you admit that you don't know that thing. They will not take it as serious. But they actually want to see what you know well or not, because they are going to give you a training. a training course regarding the role at the beginning of the internship program. So they are going to teach you all the things they want in their job. So they don't actually they are not bothered about whether if you know all the things or not, but whether you know the things well or not. What you know, you have to know it well. And if you pretend, in any case, if you pretend that you know something but you don't, they will figure it out, and that will not be something good.
So, as I think your many of your friends have given the interview, and I think you some way you have talked about something about the interview with your friends. So, what is the role of first thing is concept, and the second thing is coding. So,
Oh, concept and coding, like as I told you, they actually, as one of my friend, he was telling me like the one who interviewed him, he told him that when he was hired in JP Morgan, he didn't know how to write code. So coding is not much important in these type of roles. Like if you want to go in data science, there coding matters because that data science thing is kind of a mixture of coding and a bit of statistics. But in these roles, like the model risk analyst and these type of roles, model governor, model specifier, these roles do not need actually coding. Every one of us know the basics of programming. If they don't know R or Python, they know C or something, any programming language, and the basics of all these programmings are same. So it's not much of a fact to it's not much of a burden to learn a new programming language. So that's not much of a problem. The concepts need to be clear. Like you have to know how the statistical tools work in real life data, not just from theory, but you have to know a bit of practical as well, like how those things are applied in real life data sets like that.
so I think other than the concept and the coding, the main thing is
Hmm.
the project work. I think the
Yeah,
project.
yeah, exactly. The project is very important. Like if you have a mathematical theoretical project that is not much used in these companies in these type of roles, they will not much show an interest about your project. And always know that your project is a strong point of view. You know your project well. You have done it in about 4 months or 6 months. You know your project well. If one asks from your project regarding your project work, you can answer it well. So let them ask more about your project. Keep them kind of trapped in your project work. Speak more about your project. And make your briefing of your project a bit interesting for them, so that they also show interest in your project, things like that. And projects regarding inference and regression, data analysis, these things are always give some special weightage in this interview. So
So
project work is
So, Kaustav, my last question is like that. When you think about the JAM or any kind of exam, competitive exam, you have
yeah,
some syllabus.
yeah,
You start preparing for that. You give the mock test, you give
yeah,
the full length test, and anything. So, when
yeah.
you first time hear about that, you have to sit in an interview. What was the strategy or what was your steps you followed?
Oh, actually, none of us have prepared for the interview. Actually, the interviews are done in such a way that you don't have to prepare something specially for the interview. Like, we had our mid-semester exams 1 week after the interviews. In fact, not 1 week, about 5 or 6 days after interviews. And in ISI, I am not of the other institutes. In ISI, the academic pressure is quite high, is very high. We have to study a lot. We are given very much tough questions, and the things we study, those are not something those are not actual, those are very much different from what we study in our undergrad. So we had a very high pressure of study during our interviews. But you know what you have to study, this is also true for JAM or ISI or any other entrance exams. Like what you are studying, you have to study it in such a way like you don't forget the basics of the things. Like some techniques you may forget, some particular problems, some particular solutions you may forget, but the basics of the things like central limit theorem, you have to keep central theorem in mind. You have to study in such a way. If your concept about central limit theorem or any other topic like this is clear, then you will not forget it anytime in your life. So keep these concepts clear. You will not get any time to prepare for interview. Like we were given our interview list a day before our interview, not a day, the evening before our interview, and we had interview from the next day 10 a.m. like this. You will not get any time for the interviews. What your learning process need to be gradual. Like you have to learn slowly. You have to what you are learning. You have to keep that in mind. You have to keep those base strong. Like if you are given any real life problem anytime, you will have the guts to solve it. Again, I am saying, like, they don't expect that you solve all the problems they're giving, but they want to see how you are approaching a problem, how you can approach a problem that you have never seen in your life. So these type of things are important, and that's why I told, like, think out loud. Let the interviewer know what you are thinking. If he finds that you are going in the right track, or you are finding the problem well, you are finding the correct line of solving the problem, then he will definitely help you. He will actually solve it for you, but he will see how you are approaching a problem, how you are dealing with the problem, a problem that you have never seen in your life, like that.
So, Kaustav, thank you for your time. It was great talking with you.